Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Brand Unveiled podcast. I'm your girl, Brianna Regine. Today is an episode with a special guest that goes by the name of Khadijah Robinson Rice, who is the founder, owner, and inventor of Aqua waterproof headwear, a patented line of luxury 100% waterproof turbans and head wraps designed to protect hair in style. Okay? A proud Philly girl born and raised in West Philadelphia, Khadijah graduated from the Fox School of Business at Temple University. Unsatisfied with existing options for keeping her hair dry at the beach, pool, or in everyday inclement weather while maintaining her fashion style, she set out to invent a solution. The result? Aqua waterproof headwear, a unique line of turbans and head wraps that are 100% waterproof, stylish, breathable, soft, stretchy, and compact enough to fit in a purse. I know that's right. Khadijah is a graduate of the Target Forward Founders Accelerator and the Goldman Sachs 1 Million Black Women Black in Business program, where she honed her entrepreneurial skills to scale her brand. Love that. Her innovative products and story have earned her national recognition, including winning the $20,000 grand prize on Amazon Prime's Buy It Now show and features in numerous media outlets. She currently resides in Maryland with her husband Shalik and their lovable mini poodle, Brown Rice. Thank you guys so much in advance for listening to this episode. Anything that resonates with you, please make sure you leave a comment, share it with someone who you think can be inspired by Khadijah's story, and more importantly, keep tuning in. Enjoy.
It taught me that I am a lot stronger than I was giving myself credit for.
Yeah.
That I had imposter syndrome going on, right? So it was like, no, like, do I have the knowledge to do this? Am I smart enough? Do I have enough money? Like, am I going to do this? And personally, thank God, like, my husband is amazing and he was behind me 100%, like, just keep going. You can do this. And actually, when I was just being lazy, he's like, the business isn't going to go anywhere if you don't work. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So for me, a lot of it was resilience, in that I am actually a lot stronger than I was giving myself credit for.
Yeah.
And as far as the CEO, I had to get out of the micromanaging aspect of it because I don't micromanage people at all. I just was one of those people where if I needed something done, I would do it myself. Like, I just can do it. But I had to learn that you need to hire help because you cannot grow a business by yourself. It is not possible at all. I learned that I needed to hire help, and I did. And once I did, I started seeing a lot of progress.
Hey, I'm Brianna Regine, an award-winning brand growth strategist for entrepreneurs and decision makers who feel stuck and are ready to get strategic about reaching their next level. But let's be clear. In this podcast, we ditch the highlight reel and get into the raw, real stories of what it takes to build a brand from the people making it happen. No more perfect perceptions of success, no more unrealistic expectations, no more feeling powerless. This is your go-to space for the real deal Holyfield about business growth, full of obstacles, funny stories, real talk, self-reflections, hot takes on current events, and must-have tips. If you've got a fresh idea brewing, you're a sucker for new strategies and insights, or you need to be reminded of how freaking dope you are, this podcast is for you. Let's get into it. Perfect. All right. We are back with another episode of the Brand Unveiled podcast, and I have a special guest here today. We have Khadijah Robinson, the founder and the owner of Aqua waterproof headwear. Or did I say correctly? Headwear or head wraps? Headwear. Okay. Perfect. And Khadijah is representing the state of Pennsylvania as far as our Black Women Entrepreneurs of America campaign goes. And I'm super excited to have you here today to learn more about your journey. And I'm sure it's going to be inspiring to our listeners. So, first things first, who is Khadijah?
Well, hello everyone. My name is Khadijah Robinson, and as you said, thank you for having me, Brianna. I am so excited to be here. I am the owner and CEO and inventor of Aqua Waterproof Headwear. I am from Philadelphia. I am a Philly girl through and through. Yeah, I am a daughter, a sister, a wife, a dog mom, a friend, and world. I love to travel. I love all things beautiful and happy, and that's Khadijah.
I love that. So I read a little bit on your website that part of the reason you started your company was because you had tried everything on the market and you're serious about protecting the investment, the crown on our lovely heads. But I'm curious to know, like, when you started your company back in 2019, can you take us back to the moment of, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing? Like, what was that for
Yeah.
you?
Okay, so actually it goes back farther. So I actually got the idea for Aqua waterproof headwear when I was on vacation in 2014, believe it or
Mm,
not. Yes, I was on vacation with my boyfriend at the time. I wanted to look cute. I had extensions. I didn't want my leave out to separate from my, my real hair, and it looked my the extension. I ended up looking crazy, but I didn't have any option, right? So, a swim cap. I didn't even have one, but then I didn't want to put one on. It's tight. It's not cute, and I just had no other option. So I put a baseball cap on. Of course, I looked crazy snorkeling with a baseball cap, and I went back to the room, spent hours on my hair over, and I was like, there has to be a better way to do this,
mm,
like something that's cute but stylish, but can protect my hair at the same time. So when I got home, I just thought and thought and thought, and light bulb moment, waterproof turbans and head wraps. And I just started researching it, trying to figure out if it even existed, and it didn't. So then it's like, okay, how do I make it waterproof but still breathable and not plastic or not latex and comfortable? And I'm not a designer by any stretch. I majored in marketing and finance. I am not a designer by anything, by any means necessary. So yeah, it's like, now what do I do? How do I find a fabric? How do I design it? How do I get this done? And honestly, that's how the idea came into fruition, and I just figured it
wow.
out. Yeah, it's a whole lot of steps along the way, and we can talk about that. But yeah, but that's how it came about.
Yeah. So you've been officially around for 6 years, but the inception
Yeah,
was 5 years prior.
it
Is
took
that right?
that
Is my math
long.
right? Four
Yeah,
years, 4 or 5 years? Yeah.
no, 5 years. It took that long. Yeah.
So why did it take that long?
Okay. Yes. One, because I had no idea what I was doing. And at the time, I had a business partner, and she and I, we went to temple together. We were like, we're going to figure this out. I told her about the idea. I was like, we should do these waterproof turbans. And she said, absolutely amazing idea. But neither of us, we knew how to actually like start a business.
Yeah.
So, or even just invent something that didn't exist. I did a lot of research. We talked to so many people. We literally went through about 5 people to actually try to get the design concept made. I stitched one up in like my office at home. It looked crazy, but I was just trying to get the idea out to just like say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. So
Yeah.
finally, the crazy thing is, I ran into a woman who actually made my prom dress in high school. Crazy, at an event randomly, and she had a line in Nordstrom. She's like she teaches at the Moore College of Art in Philly. And I said, Lele, I really need your help. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that it's you. And she was like, Khadijah, what do you need? Anything for you? Anything. So she actually made our like first successful run of the turban designs, and she did
Mm,
our patterns for us. And she even came with me to the first meeting with a cut and sew manufacturer to make sure that we knew exactly what to ask for. Everything went
right.
smoothly. Lele is, I always say, she's my guardian angel. And if not for her, we Aqua waterproof headwear would not be where it is today, like at all. Then, in order to get the patent and all that kind of stuff, to get a patent, you can't have be selling your item or doing anything like that before you actually apply for the patent. And then you
Mm,
actually have to have a product that actually works. So it took that long to get a product that works that we could patent. And then the patent process was, expensive and long. But I had a friend who also was a partner at a large law firm in Philly, and she was able to walk me through that process, which was amazing. And went through a lot of bad manufacturers, a lot of, horrible, horrible times just trying to even find the right fabric. And finally, after everything in such a long journey, after 5 years, we were able to launch in 2019.
wow. Wow. I think this is the first time that I probably Googled it knowing myself, but as far as like the process of getting something patented, like that is, you have to have money
Yes,
to be
girl.
able to do that. And I'm automatically thinking of like, I know what time we're in. I'm automatically thinking of like DEI and like access and equity. And I'm like, so no wonder, like if you don't even know how to get something patented or go about, okay, you know how to do it, but then you're like, where am I going to get the capital to sustain this
Yes.
process?
Yeah.
That's wild. I don't think I really ever knew that. So how did you, without getting all up in your business,
No,
but
you in my business, girl. This is what we're here
how did you
for.
Yeah, how did you go about getting the capital to submit the requirements and meet all the protocols to, fulfill the process?
So thank God I have a great job. At the time I had an amazing job and I still have that job, believe it or not. And I always said that my job was my bank. It was
Yeah.
my first investor and it is to this day. So my business partner and I, we just said, you know what? We're gonna do this. Once we found out, I think it was about I want to say maybe 14,000. I forget what it was to do it initially. And we of course we just split that in the middle,
Hmm.
but that was just for the patent. That wasn't for the design. All in all, I want to say, even just to launch this project, initially, I want to say it cost us about 40,000.
Wow.
I know, which was insane. It's to this day, I'm like, it is just ridiculous. But I believe in the product, I believe in the business, and I just said, you know what? Forget it. Here you go. I'm just gonna fund. And I sacrificed. Of course, I wasn't going on vacations. I wasn't buying Louis bags and all kinds of crazy things. I was
Yeah.
literally investing everything into the company. And it takes a while to even return a profit. So I literally just started taking a salary for myself.
Yeah.
This year after all of that time. So that's yeah. And thank God for my friends who were lawyers and are lawyers, and they were able to walk me through that process. So that was great.
Right, right. And though I don't have the statistics, I just remember when I started my company about 8 years ago, they say if a business can make it past 5 years, then that means you're doing something right.
Yeah.
So that actually doesn't surprise me that you just started to see the opportunity to pay yourself,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
which I feel like is another conversation because thinking back on my journey, I'm like, I probably could have paid myself sooner versus paying like my team, but you don't know what you don't know. And I think part of that statistic, whatever the number may be, is true because as founders and owners, we're just like we're gonna pour and expand and scale as best as we possibly can. And
Yeah.
so we're like, okay, wait,
Yeah.
paying the bills.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it gets tough. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that transparency
Yeah.
and that background information too, because it's not a race.
No.
It's a marathon
Yeah.
for
And
sure.
you want it to be right and you want to do it
Right.
properly. And like you said, I could have paid myself for like a long time ago, but being scared, like that scarcity mindset, right?
Yep.
It's just like I need to make sure
Yes.
everything else is okay before I take anything for myself. So,
Yep. Yep. You're so right. You're so right. And just like really being comfortable, I think, with your numbers and paying attention to the data and being like, because I look at my numbers now, I'm like, girl, I could have been paying myself like 3 or 4 years ago. But you're right. Like I always say that as an entrepreneur, your business is going to test you personally and
yeah.
vice versa.
Yeah.
And once you do it long enough, you start to really face yourself in the mirror of like, girl, you ain't do that because you were scared. Like,
Exactly.
you
You
know,
just being a punk. Yeah.
just scared. So, what would you say, like having done this and been in this, let's just say what, 10 years,
I know. I
right?
know. Oh my gosh.
What has
It sounds
what
so
has been the
crazy.
turning point or what was the turning point in your journey?
You want to know something crazy? So, my friend that I started the company with, she is a CPA. So, she did all the back end, right? But in 2022, she decided that she no longer wanted to go forward with the company and start her own business, which is great, amazing, no hard feelings at all. Our journeys just take us to different places, and she started a company based on accounting, which is amazing. At that point, for me, it was a turning point because I didn't start this as a solo entrepreneur. Like, I had a partner and
That's
I
right.
had somebody who could carry half the load and, I could feed off of and stay up late nights with and talk about things and have that other person to help me make decisions. And going from having a partner and another half of the company who could also finance things, it literally like was a turning point for me because I'm like, oh my goodness, Khadijah, you have to figure this out by yourself now. Like now this is all you. It's your baby, it's your passion, it was your dream. So you got to figure it out. And then at the same time, I had a manufacturer that same year. Listen what happened. That same year she left the building. I mean the business. I had a manufacturer who filed bankruptcy on me. Took 50%, my 50% deposit, which was about $13,000 with him. It was crazy. I had like four uncles and aunts pass away.
Mhm.
It was so much going on that year. And I was just like, I don't understand. And it was a year that we got invited to be in that Empower Global, which had been procured by Diddy at the same time. And then that whole mess with that,
Yeah, it
that's
didn't happen.
all tanked. And I
Right.
just ordered a whole custom line print for them. It was so crazy, and I was
Which,
like,
yeah, that is really crazy because I remember seeing that circulating around and the application process seemed pretty robust. So for it to not, yeah, yeah.
"What is happening?" And then I'm just like, it got to a point where it's like, "Okay, are you going to keep going or are you gonna quit?"
Mm,
But then it still was like it's just nothing in me said quit. And then the next time I turn around, I got an opportunity with Target to get into the Target Forward Founders. I got accepted into
hmm
Target Forward Founders Accelerator, and I was like, oh my goodness! I got accepted into another program with Philly, the Power Up Philly program, and that was amazing. And then everything just said, Khadijah, you just have to keep going. So I just kept going. And that was the turning point. After that, when I tell you all of the stars were aligned and doors started opening up and
mm,
opportunities started opening up, I got selected to be on the Buy It Now TV show with Amazon Prime.
mm.
And that was out of the blue cold call. I didn't apply for that. It was a cold call, and they still don't know how they found me. And I went on that show, and it was everything just started trickling, and it just like it wasn't meant for me to quit. So I think that was the turning point. I just went hard by myself.
Wow. I
Yeah.
want to talk a bit more about like the personal side
Mhm,
of that.
mhm.
Like, what did the ups and downs of that particular season teach you as far as the kind of CEO you need to be within your business?
Ooh, girl, that's a good question. One, it taught me that I am a lot it taught me resilience, number 1. It taught me that I am a lot stronger than I was giving myself credit for, that
Yeah.
I had imposter syndrome going on, right? So it was like, no, like, if I even do I have the knowledge to do this? Am I smart enough? Am I, do I have enough money? Like, am I going to do this? And personally, thank God, like my husband is amazing and he was behind me 100%, like, just keep going. You can do this. And actually, when I was just being lazy, he's like, the business isn't going to go anywhere if you don't work. Like, what are you doing? So for me, a lot of it was resilience and that I am actually a lot stronger than
Mm,
I was giving myself credit for.
yeah.
And as far as the CEO, I had to get out of the micromanaging aspect of it because I don't micromanage people at all. I just was one of those people where if I needed something done, I would do it myself. Like I just can do it. But I had to learn that you need to hire help
Yeah.
because you cannot grow a business by yourself. It is not possible at all. And thank you, Target, even though,
Right.
we're not gonna, get there with the going on with them now. I don't even
Right.
understand what's happening right now.
Yeah.
But I learned that I needed to hire help, and I did. And once I did, I started seeing a lot of progress.
Hmm. So that season of, I call them seasons of character. Your season of character in 2022 was about 3 years ago. Since then, you've hired help. What does your team look like now? Out of curiosity.
So my believe it or not, the first person I hired was a social media manager.
Hmm.
I just was not doing it. Like it wasn't getting done myself, right? It just could not I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. And she helped me figure out, you know what? It was easily doing videos and reels and all that kind of stuff that I just was not doing. I booked a more consistent photographer.
Hmm.
So I have a photographer who is amazing from Philly. He is my long-term friend. And I said, you know what? Why hire out someone who is a stranger when I have all these friends who do these things that I could also create jobs for? So I hired Lewis as my photographer, and he's amazing. I also hired an assistant. So one of a virtual assistant who could help me plan out my calendar, like even like plan out my social media schedule, like what I want to do there, and just amazing responding to things. And I'm about to get 2 interns. So
Nice.
one from Philadelphia high schools. I work a lot with the Philly high schools and a college intern because they're young and they know so much more
Yeah.
than me. So yeah, so that's what the team is so far.
Nice. That's awesome. That's amazing.
And a bookkeeper.
Yeah.
I hired a bookkeeper for that's actually the first thing I did.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing to see, like, the well, to hear the honest truth about what you experienced and the hardship that you experienced and sort of like what it taught you, your outlook now, and then knowing that you're still scaling and still growing.
Yeah,
A lot of businesses don't make it past year 5.
I know.
I think let alone year 2. I
I
think
know. I know. And look how easily that could happen. Seeing what I've seen and what I've gone through, I'm like, I can totally see how that happens. It's
Yeah,
yeah. Mhm.
it's hard. We're
So
crazy.
hard.
We're the
I know,
crazy ones.
insane.
We're literally the ones that are out of our minds. What are you most proud of?
Another good question. The I will say, every when when women use that my headwear, when women wear aqua waterproof headwear, when I get comments saying, "Oh my goodness," like for instance, recently someone just told me that they have alopecia.
Mhm.
And they wear the turbans to protect their hair, their scalps from the sun, because it has UV blocking capabilities. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then women who are going undergoing chemo, and they're like, oh my goodness, not only does it's soft enough that it doesn't irritate my scalp, but when I'm going outside, my scalp doesn't burn.
Mm,
And I didn't initially think of uses like that when developing aqua headwear. So seeing the evolution of the business, from going from hair protecting, just because you want to look cute, to actual ways that it can actually help women and empower them to just live their lives worry free, whether it's protecting their hair from the water or their scalps from burning from the sun's rays. It's that evolution, and seeing the different ways and the growth of the product is makes me really, really proud.
yeah, you should be.
Thank you.
You should be. Where do you see yourself and your company like 5 years from now?
Well, selling it for like $500 million
Period.
and retiring to my castle in France. No, I'm just joking.
Why joke? I didn't hear nothing funny about that. I don't know what you're talking about.
A long term, no. A long term, I see a lot of growth. So I am actually scaling from just women's to a men's line
Mm.
and a children's line. And I just introduced hair tools to the line. So yeah, so in 5 years, I will say I would love to be able to say my company has grown enough that someone has acquired aqua waterproof headwear for $500 million, and I have donated millions and millions of dollars to charity. I give a lot to the Boys and Girls Clubs, and like I said, I do a lot of mentoring work with the Philadelphia School District.
Mhm.
So ultimately, I'm trying to create a legacy for my nieces and my nephews. Since I don't have kids, I want to give them something, leave them with something. And I feel like knowing them today, they're not interested in taking over the business, right? They are interested in living their lives, but I want to give them a means to be able to live their lives worry free. I don't want them to have to stress about, oh, I got an internship in New York and I can't afford to pay for housing, or I want to go to this college and I can't afford the tuition because, things of that nature. I just want to create a life for my family that I would have dreamed to have when I was
Mm.
coming up, and what I would dream to have as I get older. So that's my ultimate goal.
Yeah, and we're definitely aligned in that way, in many
Yeah.
ways. I think what's interesting about you mentioned a few moments ago, like the evolution of your business, and I hearing you wanting to create legacy. I'm had to guess that when you were in the mirror on your vacation, looking at your own head, you were like, "Girl, I'm just sick of this. Like, I know I can't be the only one, but to have it start from something like that, where I don't know what to put it as, how to describe that moment, but what an impactful jump,
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to the power of like where entrepreneurship can take you and how it can hone your purpose,
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
and seeing where your business house has allowed you to do mentorship and interact with youth
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
inspire them too. I think
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Thank
That's great.
you. Thank you so much. That makes me so happy and so grateful that you said that, because a lot of what I do, I'm from the hood, like I'm literally from the hood, right? So growing up, there wasn't a lot of money.
Mhm.
Nobody really had money in our neighborhood, but you did see a lot of entrepreneurship. You did see people who, could fix cars. And the guy down the street, like, oh, if you want your car fixed, go down the street to Mr. So and so. You know what I mean? Or hair salons or corner stores, things like that were black owned in my neighborhood. I saw that, and then I have an uncle who started a business. He didn't even get graduated from high school, and now he owns a huge construction company. He got his GED, and he just worked really, really hard. Went from driving a cab to now this amazing entrepreneur, and things like that. Because I saw it, I was able to say I can do that too. But if you don't see that, You don't
Yeah.
think you can, and you don't even think it's like it doesn't even come to your mind that it's an option. So I just want to give little boys and girls who look like me the um, motivation and to know that, yeah, they can do it. They can do whatever they want to do. Just put your mind to something and work hard and just be a good person, and you can do it too.
Absolutely. And you're doing that.
Thank
You're definitely doing that. And for those who are listening, I highly encourage you to go on YouTube or Spotify, watch the video because the head wrap, the face, the color coordinating, it is beat to capacity, okay? Khadijah is glowing, okay? So
you.
she is selling the product without even trying. To close, I'm really curious, and I always ask my guests this question in regards to trends that you see. For you, I guess you would align with beauty or fashion, consumer, however you perceive the question. I'm always curious to know like what trends you like in your industry and which trends you don't
Like
like.
product trends?
Yeah, it could be product trends, it could be beauty trends, it could be fashion trends. Your brand like intersects so many different industries. I'm just curious to know your insight.
Okay, so one, I wear my hair natural. I am natural. I'm natural, but I'm a what do we call them? Straight naturals, right?
Yeah. I wear my hair curly sometimes too, but during the colder months, I'm a straight girl. Yes.
Yeah, it's for me. I it's just but I see a trend towards. Well, I saw a number like there's going to be like some crazy billions of dollars that is going to be spent on wigs and weaves in the
Mm,
next year, 2 years, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Not only and then also just how much money that we as Black women spend on our hair in general. It's like $2.5 billion or something last year, and that's
mm,
not even on like stylists or the actual hair or anything like that. That's a whole separate industry. So I am excited to see what the trends are going towards that, because like we said, we have the grip comb, which is amazing. I actually bought one, and it's a a comb you put on your flat iron to help you get a straighter
yep.
do. Yeah, and it's like products like that, more products towards in the beauty space of, like, I guess, humectants. So,
Hmm.
like, where you can protect your hair from just getting from the humidity and all that kind of stuff in
Yeah.
a safe way. I'm a skincare girly. I am excited for all of the new skincare companies who have come up with like natural products for people with eczema like me and things like that. So, I'm just 60. Yeah, anything hair care, I'm so hyped about. I just
Mm,
And hair care that doesn't require heat a lot of times, like the heatless curlers, like we just got those in, and those
yeah.
are those are evolving all over the place. There are different types of those now. So yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah. The protective,
Everything
like
protective. Yeah.
styling, which
Yeah.
makes sense with, your product. That totally
Because
makes
we
sense.
don't want to, like, it costs a lot of money for us to get our hair done. So like anything that's going to help me protect my hairstyle longer and make it
Right.
last longer, I'm here for it.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Where can people find you, Khadijah?
Aquaheadwear.com, AQUAHEADWEAR.com, at Aqua Headwear on all socials and on Amazon. We are on Amazon.
I love that. And you guys, when you listen to this episode, you can actually use code BRVC for 15% off until March 31st.
Yes.
So make sure you visit the website, find a waterproof turban that fits your
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
and use our code so you guys can support Khadijah and her legacy and her local impact. And I'm going to speak into existence her global impact too.
Yes. That's my goal for 2025.
Yes,
Scaling internationally. So
international.
thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for being a guest on the show.
Thank you, Rihanna.